I want to know who's on bongos. Who's on bongos at the end there? Is that Larry Washington? Is that our guy from Chicago? Is that the master from the Curtis Mayfield Experience? Welcome to STEM Research. My name is Mike Love, or Mike MFN Love. The show is the show. Song Tracks Essential Music. Welcome back. Please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. I was watching a YouTube video and they said the most effective time to get subscriptions is to mention that at the beginning. So I'm doing it now. Subscribe to me on YouTube or subscribe to me on Twitch. Here's where I am on all the social media platforms. I'm Mike MFN Love on everything. All right? It's uniform. You go to a social media platform, you type it Mike MFN Love in, I'm guaranteed to come up. Either it's going to be all one word, or it's Mike, then the MFN, and then the love. And of course, MFN sounds I'm not even going to say it now. I'm not going to say it. I ruined the joke. You know what MFN is for. Effin' love, right? As who used to call me that? Mike Effin' Love. DJ Kimmett, because he didn't want to say MFN. I don't think he curses. And let's be honest with ourselves. Saying MFN is not cursing, right? It's not. Because guess who went on tour with the MFN tour? Guns N' Roses. Guess who was saying it all on the radio and everywhere? Guns N' Roses fans. Oh, it's the MFN tour. I'm not going to feel bad about who I am and what my name is. Put it on the screen or don't put it on the screen. It's on my screen. So follow me on the socials. Subscribe. Got 2 new subscriptions last night. One from our own exclusive, and someone else who remains, I can't remember who offhand. But thank you. Thank you for the Tier 1 subs on Twitch. Twitch is our home base, but we are slowly taking the show to different platforms, putting it back on Facebook until Facebook completes me block, because I'm still on Facebook is something else, man. It's like you log in and it tells you, you know, like you're not in Facebook jail anymore, but it shows you that your profile is restricted, and it tells you the reasons, and it stays there forever, and it's just another way in American society how we like remind people of their punishment. You know, it's like, oh, by the way, you're on probation. Pull anything else and you're out of here. And guess what, Facebook? I give less of a fuck about your platform or even being on there. I'm only on there just to promote this show. So, hey, we're in good spirits today. It's 219 Tuesday. It's a beautiful day. The weather was nice today in Chicagoland after being like a little bit above zero. We had 2 inches of snow over the weekend after they said we were going to have 9. Ladies, isn't that the way it is? They say it's going to be 9 inches, but it turns out to be 2. Oh, God, those are the worst jokes. I mean, snow penis jokes are the worst. Like, how dare you, bro, do a snow penis joke? Oh, okay. I'm not a comedian. I'm a presenter of music. Song Tracks Essential Music is the name of the show. STEM Research, as I said, and I am Mike MFN Love. And, of course, yep, I said it. I'm on all the platforms. So, what are we doing here? We are going through the tracks, track by track, the DNA of some of the greatest songs ever recorded. And today is 219 Tuesday. Shout out to our own exclusive. Shout out to Shalise R. or Shaliser, as I like to call her, and to DJ Dark Knight, who are all residents and from the 219, proudly. And you know what? Wherever it is you're from, you got to be proud to be from there. Gary, Indiana gets a lot of slack. Now, the 219 is not just Gary, Indiana. It is Northwest Indiana. But Gary gets the focus because it's Gary. Gary, Indiana. Remember when it was like the murder capital of the United States in the 1990s, man? Gary was rough, boy. Gary is just like, and it still has a negative connotation from those days. You know what I'm saying? It's more like East St. Louis now. I always felt going through Gary when I were in my days of working at GCI. I remember going to Gary and feeling like, somebody picked up a piece of Milwaukee and dropped it in Northwest Indiana. How sweet. It felt a lot like home. It had its gritty, grimy areas, and then it had some areas that were like, oh, look, houses, grass, neighborhoods. The same things that are everywhere in good old USA. But of course, guess who the most famous family from the 219 is? And that, of course, is the Jacksons, the Jackson 5, all of the Jacksons. Joseph, the wife. I hate myself, man. The wife. And Catherine. Thank you. Shit be slipping my mind, man, but it's like all there, right? So Joseph, Catherine, and their talented, incredibly talented children. The most talented American family outside of the Trumps. Outside of Donald Trump's clan, who's topping the Jacksons, man? Who's topping Joseph and Catherine for like number one hits, bro? Nobody. Count all the number ones. Let's start with Michael, then go to Janet. Who's next after that? Jermaine is third most successful. And I mean, Reby. Come on, Reby has a number one hit in there, bro. Tito has albums. Everybody's done albums. The lineage. So we have to give respect to the 219 on today's show. We are spotlighting the Jackson 5s, aptly titled Going Back to Indiana, and a song that is a complete 180 from where we're going to start, Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl from 1987. All right? So we start in 1970, the early days from the third album. I love that album. I love the name of that. The Jackson 5's third album. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even have a name for it. And it's so many groups that came out with a third album called The Third Album. You know, the 70s were just so mysteriously cool. Like, we do whatever we want. What's the name of the album? Maybe Tomorrow. Okay, name it after a hot song. That was like the thing. But not this time. By this album, it is the third album by the Jackson 5 is their highest selling Jackson 5 album. It is the pinnacle of them sales wise on Motown, and it tops anything that they did on Epic as well. So this is peak bubblegum Jackson 5, right? Going back to Indiana. I'll Be There, which is a timeless number one song. Michael Jackson absolutely killed that. Mama's Pearl is on that album, and that song really doesn't get a lot of that's like Mama's Pearl and Maybe Tomorrow are kind of like those Jackson 5 songs that are like lost in the sauce of like, man, what happened to those songs? They're great, but you don't hear them. Mama's Pearl is one of those. It is from that album. And also on that album is Darling Dear, which is another dope record. Like, there's dope records on the third album. The third album, entitled The Third Album. And one of those sneakily cold records that came out when I was 4 years old is Going Back to Indiana. I wasn't in school yet because I didn't start school till I was 5. But I remember Going Back to Indiana, the song, just really being this kind of anthemic. It was almost like a song that if there were pep rallies or something like that, you would hear the song there. It was such a great song for the Jackson 5 to do. And shout out to Berry Gordy and Suzanne DePass, who were the minds behind a lot of things that were going on with Motown Records at the time. First of all, incredibly smart move to move them to Los Angeles to give them just like a fresh perspective on life and everything. To start recording as the corporation, which Berry Gordy did to, keep anybody underneath the Motown banner from pulling a Holland Dozier Holland, right? He wanted to keep everything and everybody in-house, but also not put their names out there after, Holland Dozier Holland was like, we ain't getting all the money we supposed to be getting. We out of here. So we come up with the corporation, which is Berry Gordy, Deke Richards, Freddie Perrin, and I'm always forgetting somebody, Phonce Mazel, right? Who all individually and collectively were some of the dopest writers and musicians ever formed. So the corporation, you know what I'm saying? Like F the firm as a name, like the corporation. I like that much better. So the corporation is responsible for a lot of those Jackson 5 songs, not all of them, but a lot of them, and they are responsible for this one. And the reason why it is absolutely genius and brilliant is because not only was it an album cut, it was like the first song on side 2 of the third album, but it eventually became like a thing. They really did. The Jackson 5, like the song is an homage to the state of Indiana. Going back to Gary, I'm sure they sang that. I'm sure when they were writing, Gary, Indy, where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they sat there with the pens. I'm going back to Gary. I'm sure they wanted it to be about Gary specifically and not the state. Because guess what? There's somebody in South Bend that's like, that song's about me. No, it's not, bro. It's about the 219. Anyway, I'm sure. But just Gary, Chicago. If they were from Chicago, I'm going back to Chicago. I'm sure. But Indiana had a better ring to it. Indiana, here I come. That's where I'm from. The song, on the surface, I don't know. It's never listed in the coolest of Jackson 5 songs, but I love this song, bro. Like, I love Going Back to Indiana. I love what it means. I love that they, again, the genius is, as we bring it around, as I always do, as Mike Love, the genius is Suzanne DePass and Berry Gordy literally let them go back to Indiana, and they did a concert and released an album. Wait, they did a concert, made the concert into an ABC special, and put out a soundtrack album. Oh, you talk about monetizing, baby. They were monetizing in the 70s. Let's be clear. That's not a new thing. Like this branding and monetizing, they just came up with words for what they've always been doing. Come on. They made a song, then made that song into a whole album. Genius. absolutely brilliant of them to do that. Not because it could have just sat there as an album cut and the people of Indiana were proud. We're so proud of the Jackson 5 and thank you for the shout out. But guess where the concert was? Indianapolis. At the Coliseum in 1971. So the third album is released in September of 1970. And by September of 1971, there's a whole special and an album, and they sold 2.5 million more records of live versions of songs they already. Boy, let me tell you something, man. If you could sell 2.5 million copies of a live version of songs you've already released, it's gravy, baby. It's gravy. It's the Jackson 5 and the monstrous machine that was their entire existence at that point. Like, they were the stars of Motown. They were probably the first. They weren't the first stars on Motown by any means, but they were the first. I don't. Yeah, let me not. Because I don't want to take anything away from the Motown reviews of the 1960s. But it's almost like they did what I can say about the Jackson 5 is I feel that they did reap the benefits of everything that was established in the 1960s. So when they came in, it was like they got the star treatment, whereas none of those other artists, like they had. That's not to say that the Jackson 5 didn't grind, because they grinded, man. They got out on the road and did what they had to do. But they definitely, come on. They spent little to no time recording in Detroit. It was like, we're out of here. That did not happen with Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, The Temptations. Them dudes didn't even want to leave Detroit, to be honest. So, going back to Indiana. Never seen the special, or I probably did as a kid. Don't remember it, but I do know that it was a variety show, right? Interspersed with footage from the concert. So the concert, again, that was in the Coliseum in Indianapolis. How far is that from Gary? 219ers? How far is that? 2.5 hours. Or if you're from the 219, 2 hours when I'm driving. You know, black people. We just will shorten anything, won't we? We will shorten a name into a nickname, and we will shorten a drive. If it's 2.5 hours, it's 2 hours when I drive. Fam, what are you doing on I-65? What are you doing? Flying at 95 miles an hour. Where are you going? To Indianapolis? You're in a hurry to get to the nap? Slow down. All right, so let's dive into the song, man. This is what we do on STEM Research. We just chat about the music. We talk about the history of the song and the time and everything around it. And then we dive into the music track by track. We start out with the instrumental, and then we build our way to the vocals and the vocal performance. It's just like I said, the song feels like a cheerleaded version of an ode to the state of Indiana or Gary. Indiana, here I'm come. That's where I'm from. Going back to see my baby. They hit everything. So shout out to the 219. It's 219 Tuesday. Let's see. Where are we going here? Logic Pro. All right. Going back to Indiana. Indiana, here I come. All right. Song, of course, written and produced by the corporation. And musicians, we don't know. Studio musicians in Los Angeles were not credited on this album, so we will not be able to tell you who played drums, who played conga, who played bass, guitar, yada, 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 piano. until the day comes where I start interviewing these session musicians, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was Bob Gray on piano. It was killer. Rest in peace." All right, so let's jump into the song. Going Back to Indiana from the Jackson 5. Horns. So we start out with no vocals and just music. So you get a chance to dive into the music. I don't necessarily believe this is Tito. I don't. I don't know. I'm skeptical that this is Tito. If you know the song, it says, "Okay, go ahead, Tito, you got it." Tito pulls off a blues riff like that. Possibly. I mean, why would they say, "Okay, Tito, you got it," then throw it to a session musician? Why did Mavis Staples do that? Mavis Staples pulled it on "I'll Take You There." Like, there's a studio musician like, "Oh yeah, Mavis Staples called me Big Daddy in the studio. And she said, 'Daddy, Daddy, Daddy.' But it was really me playing." I'm just saying, bro. Nice. Come on, guitar. The ha-ha siskumbas. Come on, drums and toms. It has such a pep rally feel. Such a pep rally feel. And I wasn't even going to pep rallies at 5, but I feel like I was because of this song. 219, stand up. Shout out to the corporation. That's a dope freaking record to me, bro. It's not the funk and soul kind of a vibe that we normally do on STEM research, but I like it. It is a part of the third album. You know, any song that kicks off a B-side, sequencing was very, very important in the advent or the development of the album. Like, singles were everything in the 1960s, but by the 1970s, it was all about albums. Now it's just about singles and just throw a bunch of songs together and call it an album. But from the 1970s all the way to like 2000 and something, albums were everything. And if a song led off the B-side of an album, that meant something. So for this song to be the first song on the side B means something. So I love going back to Indiana, man. Like I said, I love the authenticity of the feeling that it gives. Like there's, so many people forget where they're from, right? Forget where they're coming. But this song is like, you guys, let's make a song called "Going Back to Indiana." Let's make the home state proud, and that's dope, bro. That's super dope of them. All right, let's kick into the drums. By an unknown session drummer. Who's on session drums? We don't know. Kind of bluesy, very bluesy feel for that's what this is. The guitar, the way the song ends, the record is maybe an homage to the blues. I don't know about OK Tito, you got it. I don't know. I mean, they fooled me for 30 years with me thinking that was Pop Staples playing all that time on like the day that I found out that wasn't Pop Staples, I was crushed. Like, if this is Tito, he got down, bro. Like, if that's really Tito at that part, I'm like, Tito got skills. You need to give it up to him. But we don't know. Like, we don't know because Motown hired studio musicians to play on all those albums, and those studio musicians were rarely the Jacksons, who we know Tito and Jackie played instruments, but everybody else was either shaking a tambourine or dancing. I like that. Come on, Mr. Hi-Hats. Not hi-hats, those are cymbals. Such a cheerleader song. Such a cheerleader anthem. Lay back, give me some hi-hat. I'm digging that. I'm digging the hi-hats. Skiddly bump. Oh, and a little laugh at the end. Like, yeah, I thought it was funny too. All right, look at that. I'm a sucker for studio banter. I'm a sucker for studio banter. Let's go to the bass. S.T.E.M Research is the name of the show. It is 219 Tuesday with the Jacksons and Michael Jackson. Going back to Indiana from the soundtrack. Going back to Indiana. Bill Cosby was on the Going Back to Indiana TV special. I mean, Bill Cosby was the man in 1970, 71. Come on. Come on, bass. Hey. Lord, I gotta plug my computer up. It's about to die. That would be so tragic if my computer died mid episode. Like, my computer is like, you better plug up, bro. I'm like, oh shit. All right, we're doing guitars after this. We're gonna do a deep dive into the guitars. Again, we have no idea who's playing the bass. Session musicians, the Wrecking Crew, right? I don't know. They were not credited by the label. Only the writers were credited at this time, at this point. Hey, hey! Okay, take it up. Everybody takes a break on the break. The clap stomp track. That's the ha ha sis boom ba break, as I like to call it. Stomping on wood in the studio, man. That's a talent, bro. Like, who can stomp on key? Get just the right wood and the right shoes? Come on. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Nice. All right, let's go to the guitars. It looks like we have multiple guitar tracks. We have guitar 1, guitar 2, and guitar 3. Very easy to find. All right, let's expand them so you guys can see them a little better. All right, let's put it on the screen. There we go. Nice rhythm. All right. Let's go with guitar 1 first. Guitar 1 is eating. All right, guitar 2 is about to come in for the first time. Both guitars hard pan. Guitar 2 hard pan to the left. Guitar 3 hard pan to the right. Okay, this is supposed to be Tito. Okay, so this is the Tito track 3. I don't believe it. I don't believe this is Tito Jackson. I don't care. I don't care. He says, okay, okay, Tito, you got it. I don't believe it. I don't. Tito Jackson at this stage of, I mean, young. These guys started out young. All of your favorite bass and guitar players started out young. So it is certainly possible that Tito Jackson could be this soulful bluesy at his age. Certainly, because it's just there's nothing I ever saw on TV because Tito is always in the background. That's where the joke comes from, the Eddie Murphy. Tito, give me some tissue. I mean, this guitar is speaking. That part. All right. Believe what you want to believe, right? As I said, I'm skeptical. But Tito got the shout out on the song, so that's all that matters, right? I mean, let's face it, Cut Creator got the shout outs on all the LL Cool J songs, and it was never him doing the scratches. But I'll save that story for the Old Man Rap Show when it comes back. When it comes back. I love the guitar play. Guitars are playing well together. Rhythm guitar's killing it. Tito's killing it. Let's just say if this is Tito, it's his piece of resistance on record. Womp. Ha ha, sis boom bop break. All right. One more time for Roosevelt High. Whatever they say. We'll find out when we get to the words. I love Big Finish. That's what I call it. I don't know if that's really what it's called. Big Finish. I'm sure I've heard that in my lifetime. Big Finish. All right. What do we have left? So those were three. Oh, we haven't done congas. Congas. Oh, let's do congas and horns. All right. Congas, horns, pianos we got left. All right. Eddie Bongo flown in. They flew Eddie Bongo in from Detroit. Horn section is killing it. Conga's very laid back. Let's take them out. I like the way that double time switched down from double time to single time. You could sample that. Hey, like they went from cheerleading to hey. That's dope. Nice, good job, guys. Let the piano man eat. Piano man, play. My Morris Day voice. Piano out. Horns are strong. Uh-oh. Big horn finish. Lovely. Beautiful. Incredible. Great work. Great work. Let's get into these vocals. We do the vocals last on STEM Research Song Tracks Essential Music. I like to break down the individual music parts, save the vocal for last, because a great song is carried by its vocal performance, but sometimes we forget about the other parts of what makes a song great, right? And that's the instruments all coming together, the band. The vocal in these days, the vocal was recorded last. Well, not last, but the rhythm track was recorded, and then the group would come in and sing over it, and then they would add, other sweetening. That had to be something like you'd get the record to be like, whoa, that sounds nothing like when we were in the studio. It's got all these strings, and that had to be like the coolest thing, unless you were just completely a part of every step, which artists weren't, unless you're Michael Jackson. And that's the reason he became the king of pop, is because he would show up. Oh, Mike's here on string day. Where are your brothers? Oh, they're out kicking it. It's Los Angeles. They all got cars. What do you think they're going to? Hanging out with girls. Well, why are you here? I'm not into girls.
I'm going back to Indiana, back to where I started from.
Facts.
I'm going back to Indiana, Indiana, here I come.
All right, establishing everything, and that first, the corporation. Mwah! We are establishing this is the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the song. Boom. I'm going back to Indiana. Really? Indiana, here I come. I'm going back to Indiana. That's where I started from. Okay. Tell us more. Like, I'm all in, bro. Like, just from that. And a nice little reverb on your voice to make you sound bigger. Mike, I'm all in, bro. Let's do it again from the top.
I'm going back to Indiana, back to where I started from.
All facts.
I'm going back to Indiana, Indiana, here I come.
When, bro?
I spent my wings for greener pastures.
Okay.
I still ain't found what I was after. I got the blues and that is why I sing. I just wanna do my thing, yeah.
Michael's so grown, bro.
I'm going back to Indiana, Indiana, here I come, yeah. I'm going back to Indiana, 'cause that's where my baby's from, yeah. Okay, Tito, you got it.
Well, maybe that's what they meant. Maybe they meant do some loud noise in the studio. All right, look, we have to do the background vocals by themselves, and we have to we have to let Mike eat, right? Because that's what we do on the show. When we say eat, if you're just joining us, if you're new to the Stimulators, welcome to the chat. Eat is a term that I use on this show to describe a person just getting a solo, getting it in and doing their thing by themselves. So because we have the ability to separate the vocal tracks, we get to listen to the backgrounds. So let's listen to the brothers do their thing. Heavy Jermaine. Jermaine, a standout. All right, so we take it back and we hear that same segment with just Michael without the brothers.
I'm going back to Indiana. Indiana, here I come. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Come on.
I'm going back to Indiana, 'cause that's where my baby's from, yeah. Okay, Tito, you got it.
Michael Jackson was like, he was like Luther Vandross, always singing about this girl, this fictitious girl that we never saw. Like, Luther was notoriously singing about a girl. Like, are you sure, Luther? Are you sure? All right. Yeah. Okay, so we listened to Tito's part already, so let's get back to the vocal.
I'm going back to Indiana. Indiana, here I come. I'm going back to Indiana, 'cause that's where my baby's from, yeah. Hollywood, you got a lot of pretty things. I saw a lot of movie stars with diamond rings, but I ain't got my baby and I'm feeling wrong. That's why I gotta sing my song, yeah.
Absolutely genius. Absolutely genius, because now the Jackson 5 go back to do the concert in Indiana, and all of the girls, because it's 99% girls in the audience, they're like, I'm back looking for my baby. Ah! Or the girls that are the fans. I remember my older cousin at this time. Yeah, I'm 4 or 5, but I got a good memory. She was a Jackson 5 fanatic. Can you imagine? And every girl feels like they're singing to her, right? It's just the female ego. Oh, I'm the girl from the song. So all of the girls are showing up like, he's coming back for his baby. That's me. I'm his baby. Genius. Brilliant. Good job by the corporation.
I'm going back to Indiana. Indiana, here I come. I'm going back to Indiana, 'cause that is where my baby's from, yeah. Ow!
Extra doo-doos. That's what I called this part as a kid. I love that part.
Ha, ha, system bop. One more time for Roosevelt Hot, Johnny Ray, Tex, Scooter, Lorenzo too.
Watch it up your brand to the boogaloo.
Every soul that passes by.
This song's for you from the Jackson 5.
I'm coming home, it's plain to see.
I still got Indiana soul in me.
All right, we got to back it up because there's so many 219 references. Like, I need a translator. So if anybody in the chat, I think they say like Roosevelt High, let's just bring it back, right? There's so many references. So I'm just like, what are they talking about? Ha, ha.
Ha, ha, system bop. One more time for Roosevelt Hot, Johnny Ray, Tex, Scooter, Lorenzo too.
What T.W. Brown to the Boogaloo?
Every soul that passes by.
This song's for you from the Jackson 5.
I'm coming home, it's plain to see.
I still got Indiana soul in me.
The whistle for no reason was the shit. Bring it home, Mike.
I'm going back to Indiana. Indiana, here I come. I'm going back to Indiana. That's where my baby's from. That's where she is.
These boys, absolutely killed that. All right, we got to do some soloing. We have to do some soloing because they, at their age, are amazingly capturing so many blues-esque things. Like they were beyond their age. But then again, these are the same boys that 3-4 years earlier are playing in strip clubs, bars, and nightclubs. They saw a lot of shit, bro. They saw a lot of shit, you know? Heard a lot of stuff. Had a lot of grown influences. Honestly. All right, so let's take Michael out and let's just do the backgrounds and then we'll do Michael. All right, let's back it up and let's get Mike's last vocal part.
I'm going back to Indiana. Indiana, here I come. I'm going back to Indiana. 'Cause that's where my baby's from. That's where she is. Yeah.
Michael Joseph motherfucking Jackson, boy. I love Mike Jackson songs as Michael as a kid, man. He is so he lived up to what he like his, you know, they talk about your purpose. Michael Jackson lived up to his purpose, bro. He absolutely lived up to his purpose. Absolutely. He fulfilled his destiny, boy. That boy was bad. I mean, Smokey Robinson's like, how you gonna sing my song better than me? Who's loving you? All right, song one down, one more to go. That reminds me, I talked to Diz today. Not talked to, but he sent me a text and we had a text chat. I'll talk to you guys about that. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back. You know how we do on this show. We take a break between stems. We'll come right back with Liberian Girl. 219 Tuesday. STEM Research. Hey, hey. Swam doobity ba. Drop doobity ba. Drop doobity ba. All right, we're back from break. I'm going to find a better way in 2022 to fade that out and fade in. You know, I can do it. It's possible. It's OBS, but I'm lazy, bro. I'm not lazy because look at the graphics, right? Put together a damn, like, whatever they call that thing. I'm tired of seeing that on everybody's thing. I was like, I need to do one for myself. Because guess what? Guess what this show is? It's a one-man show. Well, it's not a one-man show because you're here. And you, the stimulators, are a big part of the show. So shout out to our chat, the stimulators. We made it into 2022. STEM Research is the name of the show. So thank you for being here. And thank you for being a part of the stimulating conversation. Shout out to Shag Nice, who I always credit for coming up with that name. What if we call the chat the stimulators? I'm like, absolutely. We got to get shirts. Shirts in 2022. So before the break, I was mentioning that I was texting with Diz today. Diz of Mike Love and Diz. If you're from the Midwest, and no, if you're not from the Midwest, then none of this will make sense. But I did a radio show back in the day with my partner Diz, and we did a show called Chicago Famous for about 6-8 months, maybe not even that long. And we hadn't reached out to each other in a while. He reached out and sent me a text and was like, "Hey, Happy New Year, bro." I was like, it's the Diz. So I responded to him. He's like, "Hope you're well. Hope the family's well." And I asked him how he was doing. He's like, "Just getting over COVID." Not the big COVID, not the big C, right? It's if you haven't got it, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you haven't gotten it, you're gonna get it. You know, it's just a matter of time. So he got it, and he's better, which is good. And I said, "Yeah, man, that Omarion, because I'm black, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we got a joke. It's Omarion for black people. It's not Omicron or whatever it is. From the first time, like, I don't think they had, let me just say something about the black experience or the soul experience or the vibe. And no disrespect if you're not black. I know if you watch the show a lot, it's like, oh, here he goes with the black stuff again. I'm not trying to leave anybody out. I'm trying to actually include people by helping you to understand that there's this almost uniformity in our being. When that variant of COVID dropped, Omicron, they didn't have to put out a memo. Every black person called it Omarion. I don't know, like, and that is the magic. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the magic of being black. Everybody, my kids, me, everyone online, it's Omarion. Because that's how we deal with the tragedy that is this pandemic that we're going through. And I don't talk about the pandemic because I'm here to talk about STEMs. But I just want to let you know that that as a community, the black delegation are fighting this, and Omarion is the face of it. and low-key loves it. Low-key because his name hasn't been, I mean, he's been doing his thing, certainly touring and, had the B2K thing when they came back together and all of that other good stuff. But since this variant dropped, his name's been everywhere. You can thank the black delegation for that, Omarion. No reason to be mad. Like, can you imagine? I want a variant, bro. I want a variant. Can we get the MFN variant? Mike MFN love, you know? I don't know. It's like, don't make a joke about COVID. Look, man, if you don't joke about this shit, I don't know what else you can do, right? We gotta. It's the only way you're going to get through it. Only way we get, and that's, man, black folks been dealing with shit in America for like 500-600 years. Like, we gonna find a way around it, right? Jokes, half-heartedness, laughs, something. All right, let's get back to the stems because that's why we are here. The name of the show is STEM Research. I'm Mike MFN Love. And so these two songs that we're doing today could not be further from being anything like each other, right? They are oil and water when it comes to music, musicianship, everything, right? By this point in his career in 1987, Michael Jackson is taking control. He took control way before Janet Jackson. Like, he's a boy. He's Michael Jackson. And not to make it about, male or female, because I'm sexist. But it's Michael Jackson. By 1987, he's the king of pop when the Bad album dropped. For most people that are millennials that I've come in contact with in my life, and that is people that are born in 1980 or 81 and after, or up to a certain point. People that were born in like 80, people that are just now 40. Bad is their favorite Michael Jackson album. Not everybody. There is nothing like, don't get me wrong, like people in the chat like Mike Love, I'm 40 and my favorite Michael Jackson album is Off the Wall. That's nice. But follow my point. My point is simply this. For a lot of people that I've met, Bad is their favorite Michael Jackson album because, one, every song went to number one on the pop chart. Every song that was released. They put the machine behind this album. It is no Thriller. It is no Off the Wall. But when it comes to promotion and number ones, it's untouched by any of those other albums. Dirty Diana went number one. I Just Can't Stop Loving You went number one. The Way You Make Me Feel, Smooth Criminal. You name a song that was released as a single in the United States, it went to number one. I'm almost sure. I'm saying that like I know. If I Just Can't Stop Loving You didn't go to number one, damn it was close. I just remember like Dirty Diana's number. I heard that on somebody's radio station the other day. Dirty Diana is my least favorite song from Bad, but it is I feel Michael Jackson's diss record to Diana Ross. Like, how you gonna have a friend named Diana and make a record called Dirty Diana? Like, how you gonna have a song called Dirty Diana and the person that, quote unquote, not really, but introduced you to the world, right? Introduced by Diana Ross. Like, that's your friend, bro. And you gotta, like, nobody would take that kind of heat today. Like, Kanye comes out with a record called Dirty Drake. Drake's taking that personally. Or Drake comes out with a record called Dirty J Prince. That's an extreme example. But here we are. So, by the time we get to Liberian Girl, the video, it's 2 years deep into the album. Michael Jackson he's white by now. Like, this is white Michael Jackson, right? The transformation was already starting with Thriller, but by Bad, he's white. This is white Mike. Not dangerous white Mike, but he's white. And they made a video. Remember the video? If you don't remember the video, The Liberian Girl. At the who's who of Hollywood in 1987, Michael Jackson has so much clout that it was like all of the, I think only Tom Cruise is not in this video. Everybody was in the Liberian Girl video. I watched it just as I always do when I'm doing research. I go through and try to find performances and interviews and music videos. And I was like, I forgot the star-studded Liberian Girl video with just cameos from everybody. Steven Spielberg, Jasmine Guy, Dan Aykroyd, Whoopi Goldberg, Carl Weathers. Right. Everybody that was hot in 87, man. 89. Because that's how many singles they released from these albums. Like, they did a bad video compilation or a video compilation. Right? Did I say the word right? They put out Laserdisc or whatever format they put. Like, we're doing all the bad videos, and here's Liberian Girl, the video for that. And it's just a whole bunch of my people that I asked. Michael Jackson personally, Jasmine Guy says that in the video. Well, Michael Jackson called me personally. Bitch, he called everybody. And I'm not saying that to disrespect the sister. I'm saying that because the girl she says it to in the video looked at her like, bitch, he called everybody. He's Michael Jackson. That's the reason why we're here. And then Michael Jackson's lowered down on a gurney like, surprise. The Liberian Girl video is all of you just being. Paula Abdul doing her 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember when dance was so countable? Like, dance moves today are nothing like those. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like you switch the move every bar. Boom, 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 pop, boom, 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 boom. Now it's like in betweens. All is crazy, like. But it's advanced, and I dig that. I dig it. I'm not old manning it. I'm not like, oh, what's wrong with these kids? I like that shit ain't 5, 6, 7, 8 anymore. But like, that's the reason why we could do the If It Isn't Love dance steps in the video, because they were just like, they're just gonna switch up every 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7. So let's get into the song. Liberian Girl, produced by Quincy Jones, co-produced by Michael Jackson. Quincy gave him co-production credit. Good job, Quince. Co-produce. You are not the producer. Shit, Mike. Paulina DaCosta on percussion. The Usual Gang of Idiots. Steve Porcaro on synthesizer programming. John J.R. Robinson on drums. And it's kind of a groove, man. It's a cool song. One of the songs that I like really dig. Like, I just in the last 5 or 6 years, I'm not lying. Bad was my least favorite Michael Jackson song. I never liked The Way You Make Me Feel until 5 or 6 years ago. I heard it on the radio and I was like, this shit is brilliant. The way I talked about this on an early episode. The way that they would use, and they did it a bunch of times. They did it in The Way You Make Me Feel. They did it in Want to Be Starting Something, where Michael would have a really good vocal take and they would use it twice in the song. I just think that's genius when they would do that, because it's like, fuck it, use it again, man. Use the shit, Mike. In my Quincy Jones voice. And I'm sure that was Bruce. Shout out to Bruce. Bruce or Quincy or whoever decided to do that. But they don't do that in this song. But the song was popularly sampled in the 1990s by, what was it, the So So Def remix? Or Keep On, Keep It On. MC Light and Escape. Produced by Jermaine Dupri. How much did it cost for them to get a sample a Michael Jackson song while he was alive, bro? I always wondered that. Like, damn, They sample Liberian Girl. B-boy, where the fuck you at? Like, Michael Jackson had to okay that. Like, how much of the budget went to that song? I mean, it was a hit. Keep on, keeping on. Very memorable. Very memorable. Early GCI days, right? Was that 95? Marcus Chapman? 95, 96. Actually, yeah, that might have been late first stint at V100, early GCI. All right, so let's dive in. Let's start with the instrumental track. You'll love it. All of the instruments are there, and then we'll strip it down, listen to all of the wonderful gorgeousness of the music, and then we'll peel all of that away, and we'll listen to Michael Jackson's vocals, and we'll see if Michael did anything special on this song or if he just kind of, if it's just filler. What's your thoughts on Liberian Girl, the song? Let me know in the chat. All right? Let me know. Is it a filler song on Bad for you? Is it, in your top 5 songs on the album? Do you even like Bad? I know it's pop Michael Jackson. But if you're a Michael Jackson fan, you gotta have a cut on this song. And when this album dropped, my cut was Just Another Part of Me, because Just Another Part of Me felt like black Michael Jackson. It was the blackest song on the album just from a first listen. Everything I like, Bad? Dun, 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 dun. I won't even do that song on STEM research. And I have the stems. All right, let's dive in. Enough tough talk. Let's dive into the beauty. Stemmy stems. That snare is cracking. Side stick. Okay. I think, honestly, this is Michael Jackson's try at Africa. I think Michael Jackson wanted to make a record like Africa. And when I say Africa, I mean Africa by Toto. So I think this is, because this song was originally written around 83. And Michael presented it to his brothers for the Victory album. They passed. Mike held on to the song. Put it on Bad. So, okay. Oh, y'all gonna turn me down? I'm gonna make it a hit. And it was a hit in 15 countries. One of them not being the United States, though. This song was not released as a single in the States. Was the 9th single. It's a groove, man. 219 Tuesday. It's a groove, man. would flip the drums a little bit. I'm not really crazy about the drums. But they're very 80s. They're very programmed. Like, this is John Robinson actually playing drums? Big yawn. Didn't get enough rest today. That's not about the song. I love the song. Liberian Girl, the instrumental. All right, let's break down the track. Let's see where John J.R. Robinson fits in, because it says drums by John Robinson and Michael Jackson. So maybe Michael Jackson programmed because these are definitely some programmed drums. Let's not punch in the side stick just yet. Matter of fact, let's just go with the because it says hi-hat, new J.R. hat. So J.R., of course, is John J.R. Robinson, who played drums on Off the Wall and Thriller. Lindrum. That's a solid kick. Nice snare. They cut the tail off of that a little bit too quick. All right, let's throw John's hat in there. So they brought John Robinson in just to play the hi-hat on his drum kit, while Michael Jackson handled the Lindrum work. Your boy's got to get some rest, man. Your man's a sleepy. Forgive me. Kielbasa. This song is mostly drums. Mostly drums and percussion. The ladies of Liberia appreciated it as well too. So you gotta love that, all right? Oh, in Liberia, we love Liberia. Like, why wouldn't it? It's like, when did Liberia ever get a shout out? Shout out to that African nation. Liberia is a country in Africa. So shout out to them. I mean, Michael Jackson. Can you see that era? Like Liberian girl, like bootleg Liberian girl t-shirts that all the ladies are wearing. Like, fam, you don't need to wear a shirt to let me know you're a Liberian girl. We're in Liberia, and you're a girl. I already know these things. What are you doing? That's such an American thing to do, I guess. I'm sure they didn't do that. Like, we are a poor country. Okay. All right, drums sounding drummy. Let's see what else we got here. Paulino DaCosta on Symbols Interlude. JR did work, bro. Let's see. Strings. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear some of these elements without drums because they're really cool elements. This is a really cool song musically. I like the sound of the drums. Air mallet. What the hell? Air mallet left and right. Sitar. Okay, let's punch it all up, bro. Oh, we go to bass, right? That's what we do. Let's do some bass. Turn the volume up. Turn my volume up. Hey. That sitar is hitting. I love that. Take the bass out. Conga. Fairlight voices. Epic. Keyboard percussion. A synclaver by Christopher Currell. Synthesizer arrangement by Jerry Hay, John Barnes, and Quincy Jones. Fairlight voices. Stock sounds in the instrument just being played in the Fairlight. This song is nice, man. I F's with Liberian Girl on 219 Tuesday, man. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Oh, I don't have the last two tracks. What's going on? What's going on? I wonder if I can close. Let's close project. He's going to do something different, ladies and gentlemen. Don't save. All right, so give me a second. Like, don't go back that far, Mike. Don't go back to the beginning. Like, we've been there already. Y'all know I hit the wrong button from time to time. All right, let me open, and because they're Liberian Girl created last open. Nope, that's not it. Okay. There's a version of Liberian Girl with like 2 extra musical tracks, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. So, anyway, they're not vocal tracks, and they really don't. Oh, here they are, pipe synth. Duh. I closed this out for absolutely no reason. All right. Let's go back to the track, shall we? Me trying to be the completest, and it is already complete. Birds. So many wonderful sounds in this song. When you strip everything back, you can see and hear like nothing. Bro, put the bass in at least. There we go. Of course, this is a keyboard bass, and not Louis Johnson. Let's check out our credits and see who did what. John Barnes, Michael Boddicker, David Page, Larry Williams on synthesizers. And there are a lot of them on this song. So they got the top guys. David from Toto. Like, you had something to do with Africa. Come on, be a part of the song. I'm trying to make my own version of Africa. Michael, I see you. I see what you're doing. So many interesting, like, nothing really like plays through the whole song. Like, oh, I just play that little part like right there for 4 bars. Hey, hey, hey. Pipe synth. That synth is given pipe. Keys, pipe synth, port flute, left and right, and the birds. Liberian Girl. Top 15 in many countries. The song was written as early as 1983 and was considered, I said that, ranking the top 15 in several countries. Released as a single in Europe, New Zealand, and Australia. Can you imagine? This was on the radio along with the video. Like, oh my God, we get the video on MTV and we get to hear the song. All right, let's get into the vocals. Michael Jackson. You see the lead vocal comp, which is a compiling of all of his best vocal takes, background vocals, and Let It Mbulu, which is like the girl in the beginning of the song that does like that Liberian speak, I guess. I don't know what it is. All right, let's dive into it. STEM Research Stimulators. Let's go. 219 Tuesday. Michael Jackson, Jackson 5 on STEM Research.
Nakupenda pia, nakutaka pia, penzi we.
That would be cool for a sample.
Nakupenda pia, nakutaka pia, penzi we.
Don't know what she said. Don't know what it means, but that never stopped me from listening to the song.
Liberian girl,
Come on, Mike.
you came and you changed my world. A love so brand new. Liberian girl.
Mike singing with the quiver is one of my. That's slow jam, Mike. Right? Mike is giving everything on the slow jam with the quiver, with the quiver in his voice. Let's take that from the top.
Liberian girl, you came and you changed my world. A love so brand new. Liberian girl, you came and you changed me, girl. A feeling so true. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world. Just like in the movies, with two lovers in a scene. Then she says, do you love me? And he says so endlessly, I love you, Liberian girl.
So random.
Nakupenda pia, nakutaka pia, penzi we.
She tried to hang with Mike.
Babe. All right. Liberian girl, more precious than any pearl. Your love so
Okay, for the then. I see you, Bruce Whittian. Let's back that up. Put a little oomph on it.
babe. All right. Liberian girl, more precious than any pearl. Your love so complete. Liberian girl, you kiss me, then ooh, the world. You do this to me. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world. Just like in the movies, with two lovers in a scene. And she says, do you love me? And he says so endlessly, I love you, Liberian girl. Nakupenda pia, nakutaka pia, penzi we.
Mike being Mike.
Liberian girl.
All right, so let's stop for a second and just marvel at the background vocal with all the reverb on it. All right, so let's just listen to that.
Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world. I wait for the day.
Just in a hall for no reason. Interesting choice. Let's just ride through it. Let's go. We got stems today. We don't get to hear the formation of the harmonies, but it's all good. So now we get to hear the lead vocal without all the background singing in it.
Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world. I wait for the day when you have to say I do, and I smile and say it too, and forever will be true. I love you, Liberian girl. All the time, I love you, Liberian girl. All the time.
Come on, Mike.
I love you, Liberian girl. All the time. I love you,
I hear the stomp.
Liberian girl. All the time. I love you.
Come on, Mike.
I love you, baby. I want you.
That's Mike right there.
I love you, baby. Ooh. I love you, baby. I want you, baby.
He couldn't hold back, could he? He couldn't.
Ooh.
In my mind, whole time, I'm like, he's not being Michael Jackson. Like, he's subdued. And, you know, understandably, while he's cutting this album, he's thinking pop. He's thinking poppies, you know. He was black on the, you know, when we go through the off the wall stems, when we go through the Thriller stems, that's still Black Mike. You know, he was Black Mike when he cut those albums. He's White Mike when he's recording this one. So I'm waiting. I'm like, man, he's really, let's take it back. So you guys hear what I'm talking about. You know, normally you're getting the das and ooh, you know, Mike-isms. There's not a lot of Mike-isms in this song. It's very subdued, but, you know, maybe also, I would say the vibe of the record, but Mike don't care about the vibe of the record. He's being Mike.
Girl, all the time, I love you, Liberian girl. All the time, I love you, Liberian girl.
Great vocal take, though. I love it.
All the time,
There's a
I
stomp.
love you, Liberian girl.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All the time. I love you.
There it is.
I love you, baby. I want you.
That's Mike.
I love you, baby. Ooh. I love you, baby.
Signature.
I want you, baby. Ooh.
I like hearing that in his headphones. Headphones just loud. Incredible. Incredible end. Incredible end right there. I give it the end. I love the song, man. I love the song. I think it's a great song. And that That's why I chose it for Stimmy Stems today, man. That's why I chose it. I can't believe that whole time I wasn't on the Liberian girl screen. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Forgive me. All right. Obviously, you know my socials. They've been on the screen the whole time. All right. So there it is. 219 Tuesday. When I can find great stems from the Jacksons or the Jackson 5, we'll play those. What do we got tomorrow? Tomorrow we got For the Love of Money by the OJs. From the Ship Ahoy album. You know I got to do some Philly. I got to do some Detroit, trying to get more Memphis in, trying to get more New York, more Chicago, more music from everywhere. Just good music. Ohio, Georgia, wherever good music is from, we're going to play it. So tomorrow, and I think tomorrow's Wednesday, and I think on Thursday we might do, I've been trying to like do some verses, just crazy verses. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to do a stem from the All in All album and a stem from That's the Way of the World. But those are two Earth, Wind, and Fire albums. It's just, just like what's the better album? Also like Chicago versus Detroit, Detroit versus Philadelphia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's 2022. Keeping the show fresh with fresh stems, a whole bunch of brand new stems this week. Although I'm thinking of, because what was the stem? Now That We Found Love. So I might do Third World, because I'm always theming it out. I'm a theme kind of guy. So This Time Baby by Jackie Moore is a stem that we did on the show. Is a remake of an OJ song. And Now That We Found Love by Third World is also a remake of an OJ song. So tomorrow we have the OJs. Thursday we might have a battle of the OJs remakes. But Friday definitely is going to be Unlimited Touch. I Hear Music in the Streets. I'm excited about that because that's like one of my favorite. When my stem, let me tell you guys something about stems. Stems for me are like the records of back in the day. Like you would get a record and it would be like, I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. That would be me in the record store when you get like some, or even further back comic books. Standing in front of the comic stand, like losing my mind. Oh my God, the new Spider-Man. So now stems are like that. And when this guy is like, I got unlimited touch, I hear music in the streets, I'm like, I'm all in. But I'm so subdued, bro. I'm Mr. Poker Face stems. I'm like, okay, is it the real thing? Are all of the parts there? Like, yes, it's the real thing. So that's Friday. So I'm excited because I listen to that song. That's one of the songs I listen to. I'd be like, I would love to have the stems to this. And I do. I have them now. So tomorrow, the OJs. And I'm looking forward to that. So I should have been doing this over the close. Because y'all know I thank you. Thank you all for being a part of what we do. Thank you for subscribing on Twitch. Thank you for following all episodes of STEM Research. After they are played live, they also stream live on Twitter. So if you're a Twitter head, you can watch the show on Twitter. You can watch replays on Twitter. And you can also watch replays on YouTube. So be a part of all of that, right? Watch the shows. Get my views up. Watch the shows again. Watch them again and again and again. All right? So thank you. Thank you for being a part of what we do. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being in the chat. Stimulators, thank you. Thank you for coming back, because it was like, is this guy like, he's not even playing best ofs. I was like, I need a break, bro. So thank you for allowing me to have a break, and thank you. This is where I normally shout everybody out, but you know who you are. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the chat for being so chatty. And thank you for being a friend of the show. All right. STEM Research, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, Monday through Friday. Twitch.tv/Mike MFN Love is the home base, but we broadcast to my Facebook page, my Twitter, my YouTube, and now on IG as well. Mike MFN Love on everything. Class is dismissed. Peace.